What's up, everybody? In today's video, I want to talk about social anxiety and my personal experience with it. To anyone who has crippling social anxiety, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And to anyone who doesn't have crippling social anxiety and you've just experienced anxiety in your life, I will lay out a couple scenarios to try and help you understand what it's like to have social anxiety. For me, I feel like I've had it pretty much all my life. I mean, as a kid, adults around me always said that I was shy, right? And I was just a shy kid, but it was like something that I just never grew out of. And it got easier, like going to school and being around lots of people every single day. It got easier, but it never went away. It was something that has followed me my entire life. And if you watched my video about social isolation just makes it so much worse. The longer that you don't socialize, it makes the social anxiety so extreme, and it gets somewhat easier as you expose yourself to it and socialize more. For anyone with social anxiety, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You leave your house and you feel this overwhelming sense of dread. You pass somebody on the street and you kind of look away, you avoid eye contact. And sometimes even I know myself, I sometimes cross the road. I see somebody coming down the road on the same side of the street as me, and I will cross the road or dip off onto another street and go a different way to arrive at my destination. And to anybody who doesn't have social anxiety, if you've ever experienced anxiety for any reason, even if it's not like a chronic thing for you, you've experienced anxiety for a deadline at work or a deadline at school, or maybe you have to speak in front of the class the next day, and that overwhelming dread that you feel and all the irrational thoughts that start to flood your mind of, oh, am I going to make it on time? Am I going to sound stupid? Am I going to fumble over my words? Those kind of thoughts. Imagine all that cranked up to 100 every single time you have to socialize. It makes socializing so difficult, like going and applying for a job and doing an interview, making doctor's appointments, just simply going to the gas station and making a purchase and having to interact with the cashier is like this Herculean task. It's so much more difficult than it should be. It should just be a normal thing that you do. Or maybe you have some nerves with stuff like a job interview. I'm assuming everybody gets nerves with that, but it's like this overwhelming fear in your body screaming at you to not do it and find every excuse to not do it. That is what social anxiety feels like. I find myself struggling so hard to even maintain eye contact. Like, if it's just a simple hi, how are you, good, I can maintain eye contact for that. But the longer the conversation goes, the more and more I start to like look away. And I notice too, there's times where I'll be talking to somebody and I'll just be looking off some other direction instead of actually looking them in the eye as I'm talking to them. And I find myself thinking and wondering, like, how long is good eye contact? Like, I feel like I don't blink enough and maybe I look like a dang psychopath, just like staring at people in their eyes, trying to maintain that eye contact and force myself. And it just adds to all the irrational thoughts, all this crap that piles in your mind that makes it all feel and seem worse. And to anyone else battling social anxiety and struggling to find out how you can overcome it, unfortunately, I don't know if it can ever be overcome. I've never personally overcome it. Maybe you can overcome it. Like I said, it's followed me throughout my whole life. I've had great times in my life where I've socialized with people and it was almost non-existent, but it never actually went away. Like, it was always there, and then when I would stop socializing, it would come right back and be just as intense. But I've found the best way to mitigate it is, as I've hinted at, exposure therapy, right? Going out and forcing yourself to socialize. And you got to do it like for long periods of time. I've found in my own personal experience that when I only do the bare minimum of socialization, it doesn't actually get that much easier. It still stays extremely difficult, and I'm just kind of suffering in these social situations, and it's not getting any easier. So you have to expose yourself to prolonged social situations. And especially if you don't socialize at work, you have to force yourself at some points in your day to go socialize for extended periods of time, and socialize with people that you're not comfortable with. When you socialize with people that you're comfortable with, I've found that it doesn't really change much. It has caused me to neglect my health. There are doctor's appointments over the years that I have made and I canceled them because social anxiety. I just allowed my thoughts to control me and let my thoughts spiral. Like 2 years ago, I broke my hand. I got a boxer's fracture and broke my hand. And maybe that'll be a funny story for a future video. And I went through everything with that. But I didn't go through with the follow-ups. I went through with the initial process because I felt like I had no other option. My hand was broke, and you need your hand to be able to do things. And so that kind of overrode the social anxiety. But then spending all that time recovering and not going out much, once I had to do my follow-ups, once I got the cast off and everything, and I was doing the therapy on my own, I didn't do my proper follow-ups. Thankfully, I don't have too many issues with it. But that's an example of how I have neglected my health. I mean, last year, at the beginning of last year, I have a metal bedpost and I kicked it so hard. I messed up something. My toe, foot, ankle, and knee got messed up. Something got messed up with it, and that whole year, I pretty much didn't go to the doctor. I set multiple appointments, but I didn't go because of social anxiety. That one isn't as much of a funny story. That's pretty much all it was. I kicked my bedpost trying to rush around doing stuff in my room and messed up my knee. But my hand is kind of a funny story. It was a stupid decision by me that maybe you guys will get some entertainment out of in a future video. But yeah, I think that about covers everything I wanted to talk about today. To anybody that made it this far in the video, I hope you have a great day. It's kind of crappy here today. The air quality is better than it was yesterday, but as you can see, it's kind of dreary, kind of cloudy, probably gonna rain at some point. But it's a good day to be alive. Every day is a good day to be alive. Thank you guys for watching. I love each and every one of you that shows all the love and support to the channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will probably be Monday. I've been contemplating taking Sundays off. I took last Sunday off. I might do the same thing tomorrow. So you guys will either see me tomorrow. If not, you will absolutely see me on Monday with another video, and I look forward to it. But yeah, I think that about covers it.